dealing with haters and bad logic. I get a lot of people on my site who hate what I teach because I teach song-based, because I say scales suck and stuff like that, right? And it's true, you know, like I'm triggering these people on purpose. I'm trying to get them to see a new way, and I'm trying to get the people that already have been thinking about scales sucking and stuff to give them, look, there is a different way, you're right. There is a reason you feel like this, there's a reason you feel like you're not making progress with certain programs, etc. And sometimes I get people, no, Rashad, you're wrong. Or they'll be like halfway, oh, you're right about this, but you're wrong about this. We still need whatever it is, you know, we still need scales. Scales have their purpose. People can learn in different ways. Why do you have to attack this and that? We've all got different systems, they have different benefits. This is not the truth, okay? I've got some people that will comment this kind of stuff in different ways. They might be nice, they might be mean. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't bother me. It's the points that matter to me. And the point is that there's only one way to tell if something is right, and that's to test it, okay? If you want to tell me that my system is not what I make it out to be, I say that my system, you need to test my system first. Now, the people that will tell me I'm wrong, don't know my system, they've never trained with me. So how will they know my system if they've never trained with me one-on-one, if they've never had lessons with me to really understand what I would do with them in a lesson and the experience that they would go away with and how they would practice and see the progress? How do you really know if you're one of these people listening? How do they really know? They don't really know. They're just thinking, I learned something, it made progress for me, so that means what I'm learning must be right. Now, I agree with you, you can make progress when you learn scales, and I've said this before, when you learn arpeggios and breathing exercises, you do make progress, but it's not enjoyable, and it's not as enjoyable as my system, and it's not as effective as my song-based system, okay? This is my point, not as effective. How do I measure this? How can you measure this? Come get a lesson and you can see the difference. What have you got to lose? You probably spent money on other programs. You probably spent a lot of time watching other people. Why don't you spend some time watching me practice, watch my practice videos, and why don't you spend some time getting some lessons with me, one-on-one lessons, and see what I can actually do for you, and have the tools available so you can actually really make a comparison instead of just hating and saying that I don't know what I'm talking about, or saying, oh, don't bag out the other ways because the other ways are better or they're good and blah, blah, blah. Okay? Until you have tried my way, how can you know? All right? A lot of people do this mistake. They create false patterns. They say, they feel like when they've learned something, they have that pattern in their mind that when they learned it and they made some progress, that was, or great, they made a lot of progress, that's the best thing that there is. Without knowing, what do I mean by patterns? I mean the pattern of, how do you say, sorry, maybe that bit wasn't clear right there at the end. I lost my train of thought on exactly where I was going to go with that. But yeah, like it's a common thing. What I'm saying is people make the mistake of once you've learned something, you tend to think that you know everything that there is in that topic. That's the mistake that I was trying to get at. It's that pattern of sort of, oh, everything I learn in any area, that's it, I've learned it and that's right. But that's not true. Like, for example, I learned bodybuilding back 10, 12 years ago, and I learned it it was like an omnivore type diet, right? Where I ate a lot of animal products and plant products. It was like half-half. And then now, 10 years later, I learned that you can actually do get the same results with the bodybuilding on a vegan diet, on a diet that has no animal products whatsoever, which completely contradicts what the other bodybuilders taught me. They said you needed eggs, you needed meat, you needed such and such. Just like singing teachers now saying you need scales, you need breathing exercises, you need to call these parts of the voice this and that and label them in these ways. and you need to train them in these ways. And no, you don't slow down songs to learn, you don't use songs to learn, that's later. You use these technical sounds to learn, me's and ma's and g's and like nays and stuff like that, all these kind of sounds, right? Pharyngeal and mix and hard mix and modes, and all these are the things that you need to use to learn. Whereas I'm coming out and saying you don't need any of them, same way as the bodybuilders now teaching you don't need to eat meat and fish and eggs and dairy to bodybuild, which you don't. Now I've learned, and they have examples and they have proof with their own bodies and how they transformed. And then what you do is you do trial and error, you try it out. So I did trial and error before, and I got my body pretty beast on that other diet, and now I'm doing trial and error, and I've done trial and error to see, oh, will I get big, can I get built on the vegan diet? And I'm putting on weight the same way that I put on weight back when I was doing the other diet. So that shows me that everything I learned before, even though I thought I wasn't expert at what I knew back then, and I still am about what I know about the omnivore style diet, now what I'm learning now is an addition to the other diet, and points out where the other diet was wrong, where it was asserting it was right. It was asserting you needed animal products for their protein value. Now, the evidence now shows that that's completely wrong, both the evidence I did trial and error on myself and the evidence that I see other people do. So same with the scale-based systems. I learned it that, oh, you needed to do scales and nays and ngs and all these different sounds and breathing exercises to develop your voice. And now, after 5-10 years, I've learned that that's absolutely not necessary to develop a singer's voice. So trial and error is the way. Don't think that once you've learned something, that's it, you've learned something and you know how the world works or how a particular topic works. That's not it. Someone else might know something that you don't know. So look for people that argue against what you already know and then try it out. All right, rnbsinglessons.com for more details and an organized version of everything that I say, and to get lessons and see my courses. And I'm Rashad Hayek. I'll see you guys next time.